class. It's Miss Puglisi reporting to you live from my bedroom with a fan favorite, Mr. Benjamin. Max is also here. He is sleeping in his bed in the corner, so if you do see something golden shuffle across the bottom of your screen, please know that that is Maxini and give him some love. We are back for our next session of The One and Only Ivan, a book that I'm really enjoying and I know a lot of my students are enjoying, and I hope you are too. We are starting on page 19. It's called Shapes in Clouds. Last time we read, we found out that Ivan really loves to draw in color when he's feeling blue, and hopefully we can learn a little bit more about that and about hopefully his friends that he has at the zoo. Shapes in Clouds. I think I've always been an artist. Even as a baby, still clinging to my mother, I had an artist's eye. I saw shapes in the clouds and sculptures in the tumbled stones at the bottom of the stream. I grabbed at colors, the crimson flower just out of reach, the ebony bird streaking past. I don't remember much about my early life, but I do remember this. Whenever I got the chance, I would dip my fingers into cool mud and use my mother's back for a canvas. She was a patient soul, my mother. Imagination. Someday I hope I can draw the way Julia draws, imagining worlds that don't yet exist. I know what most humans think. They think gorillas don't have imaginations. They think we don't remember our past or ponder our futures. Come to think of it, I suppose they have a point. Mostly I think about what is, not what could be. I've learned not to get my hopes up. So that's really interesting that Ivan talks about how he really just focuses on today and he doesn't focus about what ifs or what could be in the future. And sometimes it's good not to focus on what ifs if it stresses you out, but sometimes it's good to focus on what ifs if it's meant to inspire you. So let's see where that goes. Page 21. The loneliest gorilla in the world. When the Big Top Mall was first built, it smelled of new paint and fresh hay, and humans came to visit from morning till night. They drifted past my domain like logs on a lazy river. I love the way this book is written. There's so much imagery and so much descriptive detail. The author does a really good job showing and not just telling. Lately, a day might go by without a single visitor. Max said he's worried. He says, I'm not cute anymore. He says, Ivan, you've lost your magic, old guy. You used to be a hit. I'm gonna stop and think. That would really hurt my feelings if someone said that to me. Poor Ivan. It's true that some of my visitors don't linger the way they used to. They stare through the grass, they cluck their tongues, they frown while I watch my TV. He looks lonely, they say. Not long ago, a little boy stood before my glass, tears streaming down his smooth red cheeks. He must be the loneliest gorilla in the world, he said, clutching his mother's hand. At times like that, I wish humans could understand me the way I could understand them. It's not so bad, I wanted to tell the little boy. With enough time, you can get used to about anything. So now we're understanding that maybe Ivan doesn't look at his situation as something that's super horrible or it isn't too bad. But I don't love his last line. With enough time, you get used to almost anything. You don't want to get used to things. You want to love where you are and feel safe where you are. I wish I could tell Ivan that. My visitors are often surprised when they see the TV Mac put in my domain. They seem to find it odd, the sight of a gorilla staring at tiny humans in a box. Sometimes I wonder though, isn't the way they stare at me, sitting in my tiny box, just as strange? My TV is old, it doesn't always work, and sometimes days will go by before anyone remembers to turn it on. I'll watch anything, but I'm particularly fond of cartoons, with their bright jungle colors. I especially enjoy it when someone slips on a banana peel. Bob, my dog friend, loves TV almost as much as I do. He prefers to watch professional bowling and cat food commercials. Sir? My students are watching. Can you please lay down? Thank you. It's a little hard working with a diva. Let's see, where did I leave off? Bob, my dog friend, loves TV almost as much as I do. He prefers to watch professional bowling and cat food commercials. Bob and I have seen many romance movies too. In a romance, there is much hugging and sometimes face licking. I have yet to see a single romance starring a gorilla. We also enjoy old Western movies. In a Western, someone always says, "This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Sheriff." In a Western, you can tell who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. And the good guys always win. Bob says Westerns are nothing like real life. It's really interesting that Bob the dog says that. Basically means that good guys don't always win in real life. The Nature Show. I have been in my domain for 9,855 days. Alone. For a while, when I was young and foolish, I thought I was the last gorilla on Earth. I tried not to dwell on it. Still, it's hard to stay upbeat when you think there are no more of you. Then one night, after I watched a movie about men in black hats with guns and feeble-minded horses, a different show came on. It was not a cartoon, not a romance, not a Western. I saw a lush forest. I heard birds murmuring. The grass moved. The trees rustled. Then I saw him. He was a bit scrawny and not as good looking as I am, to be honest, but sure enough, he was a gorilla. As suddenly as he'd appeared, the gorilla vanished, and in his place was a scruffy white male called, I learned, a polar bear, and then a chubby water creature called a manatee, and then another animal, and another. So when I think about what I know about TV, I could assume that I was probably watching a nature documentary or National Geographic. All night I sat wondering about the gorilla I'd glimpsed. Where did he live? Would he ever come to visit? If there was a he somewhere, could there be a she as well? Or was it just the two of us in the world, trapped in our own separate boxes? Let's take a moment to think about that. Ivan's been in isolation, which means he's been alone with no one else around him that looks like him. So his mind started to think that he was the only gorilla in the world. That's kind of sad. There's lonely, and then there's feeling like you're the only type of you in the world. Page 27, Stella. Stella says she is sure I will see another real-life gorilla someday, and I believe her because she's even older than I am and has eyes like black stars and knows more than I will ever know. Stella is a mountain. Next to her, I'm a rock, and Bob is a grain of sand. Every night, when the stores close and the moon washes the world with milky light, Stella and I talk. We don't have much in common, but we have enough. We are huge and alone, and we both love yogurt raisins. Boo. Sometimes Stella tells stories of her childhood, of leafy canopies hidden by mist, and the busy songs of flowing water. Unlike me, she recalls every detail of her past. Stella loves the moon. With its untroubled smile, I love the feel of the sun on my belly. She says, "It is quite a belly, my friend," and I say, "Thank you, so is yours." Now remember, Stella is an elephant, so she has quite a belly too. We talk, but not too much. Elephants, like gorillas, do not waste words. Stella used to perform in a large and famous circus, and she still does some of those tricks for our show. During one stunt, Stella stands on her hind legs while Snickers jumps on her head. It's hard to stand on your hind legs when you weigh more than 40 men. If you are a circus elephant and you stand on your hind legs while a dog jumps on your head, you get a treat. If you do not, the claw sticks come swinging, which doesn't seem very kind. Elephant hide is thick as bark on an ancient tree, but a claw stick can pierce it like a leaf. Once Stella saw a trainer hit a bull elephant with a claw stick. A bull is like a silverback gorilla. Noble, contained, calm, like a cobra is calm. When the claw stick caught in the bull's flesh, he tossed the trainer into the air with his tusk. The man fell. Stella said, like an ugly bird, she never saw the bull again. And then we see a picture of Stella. She looks friendly. We are going to stop there. That is on page 29. Please bookmark it if you're following along. My video got cut off, but before we leave today, I do want to talk a little bit about what we read. I was very curious about Ivan's friends, and I'm so happy we got to learn about Stella the elephant and Bob the dog. If I was living at this zoo, I would really want to have those two people as my friends. It's interesting because Stella the elephant, she remembers a lot about her childhood and a lot about her past. She remembers her wildlife, and she remembers living at a circus before coming to this zoo. It's interesting that Ivan doesn't remember it, so I would maybe assume that he was maybe taken from his home when he was too young to remember. Sometimes that happens to our memories. Maybe we'll learn more about that in our upcoming sessions. So tune in tomorrow. We're going to be reading a little bit of The One and Only Ivan. I think you're going to be excited about the next part of this book because I think the animals start a little bit of mischief. So remember to follow our YouTube channel to know when a new video is uploaded. Please follow me on Instagram at Miss Pugz with a Z to see what we're doing inside our classroom and now online. And I will see you tomorrow. Say bye, bye.